Hello everyone and welcome back to this Gran Turismo playthrough. As you can see, we're now going to look at B3. So we've done B1 and B2, and in both we're pretty much 3/10 faster than the gold time. So you know, it's a good target to aim for in this one. And the first one was braking and accelerating, this one was steering. We're now looking at out in out. Now I've always mentioned this in the past, but on the longer corners it's usually in out in, and then obviously out again. But this one's going to be out in out. So we're doing the hokey cokey here, or whatever it's called. But we're not shaking it all about because we're in a little Suzuki Swift Sport. So we'll just read the description. Practice the basic out in out cornering line. This involves approaching the corner from the outside edge of the track, then aiming for the inside edge while turning the corner, and finally moving back to the outside edge on the way out. The main benefit of this is it allows the corner to be taken at the shallowest possible angle, requiring the smallest amount of steering wheel movement. You can use the driving line as a reference point and see if you can put the theory into practice. Now you've probably seen this in all my other videos, and if you haven't seen all my other videos, I'll mention this now. I always mention angles and how straightening a corner means it's the fastest way to do a corner, because you're doing less of this and you're doing more of that with your foot. You're putting your foot down, and because you're doing less of this, your tyres are just pointing straight. Obviously if they're straight they just go. If they're turning they've got to do more stuff. They've got to go in a certain way, especially with front wheel drive cars like this. Obviously the tyre can only do so much, so if you tell it to do that and go full throttle, bang, it's only going to understeer. It's not going to end well, and you're not going to have the maximum speed. So that's what this is trying to do. It's just trying to tell you that straightening a corner means you get the fastest possible line through it, and you maintain the most momentum in the car, which obviously momentum is the key as well with this. So we'll just look at the options again. We're just going to take traction control off because I don't like traction control. I don't like skid recovery force, but look, I can't change that. Makes me keep it on, I'm afraid. ABS 1, that's mainly because the brake balance I don't find realistic anyway. If it's 5.5 and then you take ABS off, the wheels will lock up instantly. You got to really play with your foot. Obviously I can do it, but it's easier with ABS on, because there's no realistic changes in that. It's, you know, it's either ABS or ABS off, and then that's just for my own preference, just to make sure that I believe it's just for the pad, but if it's there for the wheel as well and it equally affects it, I'm not losing out. So we're going to start this. Let's have a look at the time of what time we're starting this. 17, so we've got until my maths, 32. We've got until to do it. So let's get cracking. So we're just going to approach this like any other corner initially. I will take that off. Nice little car, this Suzuki Swift. And we're just going to deep forest this as well, so you know you got that little outside bit. Got the brake markers there, which will be handy. I broke a bit too much there, I think. Thought it was in some form of Aston Martin there for a second. So that's essentially what we've got to do. We've got to do it in the best way, and we've got a gold. Typically gold. So we've got 26.2 there. Now I think we can do that far better than 26.2. So we're definitely going to continue with this. All the guys checking the car out there. Yeah, it's a good job. Well, there's a girl there as well. So guys and girls. Yes, level 2 success. And we're just going to have another go at this. We're going to keep doing this, you know, the 15-minute period for each license. See what we can really get out of the car. So I accelerated differently there. You know, it's just preference really. So you want to stay as wide as possible. This is sort of like, well, to me this is more of an in-out-in corner, but they've done it like this. So we've got a ghost now to follow. Notice I took the corner a bit more not shallower. I took the corner sharper, and I've sort of gained a bit more time there. That's because it's a front wheel drive car. If it's a front wheel drive car, usually the tightest line is the faster line. I've always found that in front wheel drive cars compared to a rear wheel drive car, or a more powerful car really. because obviously a more powerful car is more likely to spin out if you don't straighten it as well. But as a car like this, you can stay on a tight line and still accelerate quite successfully. So I'm going to try my technique now. I'm going to go really deep into this, and I did go deep there, but no, see, it's not faster. See, that's the thing as well. You got to try different things to see what the different outcomes will be, because obviously different corners you get different results. So always do that, especially in like GT Academy and stuff. Always test different angles out and different ways to do a corner, because you might come across something where you can gain a tenth or two. So same again now. We're not going to brake as hard. I think we're going to roll this one. I might just brake slightly, 25% ish. I broke a bit early there, so we're going to look at the braking boards now first before we start looking at the speed and just rolling through the corner. I think because I'm braking at different points. I need to be braking in the same point to try different things. So we're just going to look at that. Starts off really differently there. I'll look at where I am compared to the Ghost. Oh, I'm a bit ahead. That was 4,000 revs. So we'll remember that for future. But we're going to just pick a brake marker. We're not going to use 100. Don't need the. We're going to use a 25. And I've slightly over revved the engine there, but that's no worries. And we are ahead of the Ghost here. We are very well ahead of the Ghost. We want to come across the track. We've got a 0.125. So we're going to use a 25 meter marker. The brakes seem to be really sensitive in this car. They seem to stop the car instantly. It's like it's got an air brake like the McLaren or something, but yeah. So we're going to brake at 25, may even brake a bit further into that corner actually. We might try a bit of trail braking, but we'll have to see. So we are behind the Ghost here. So yeah, that was much better with the trail braking, I think, although we are a bit further behind still. Yeah, I think we're braking too much and too soon as well. So we're going to try and compromise that. Obviously it gets harder to judge when you lose your references, because obviously we're going past the last brake marker. Usually you'd be flying down here, but obviously we're just approaching it from the start. So we're going to approach this, and we've got the 25 meter. We're just going to wait a bit. So we're going to open up the steering. So obviously the last one's come into play. 6 thousandths. So we didn't improve there, but it felt much better. It felt much. So if we can maintain a bit more speed, less braking, so do the same angle, I think we could do well. Don't know if you noticed there on the start. I realised I was about to rev it really hard, so I just came off slightly, and look at that, we're ahead of the Ghost. That was 5,000 revs. So it's always good to just take notice on these sort of things. So yeah, so staying out for a really long time seems to help with this car. Really does. And we've got a slight improvement there of 11 thousandths. So not too bad. I reckon we could get in the 25.9s. If we get the perfect line, 25.9, I think that's a target to aim for. So that's what we're going to aim for. I'm a bit in the middle of the track here, so this is going to leave me a tiny bit of time. Not too much. This is about braking as well on this one. So we are ahead of the Ghost here. We are going to improve. Oh, very close to that 25.9. Definitely possible there. That corner was a bit weird. I was sort of in the middle of the track, and I didn't really hit any apex. I was sort of on the corner. I wasn't really doing much there, and that sort of just got me the lap time. So you can see we're still improving. We're going to get in that 25.9s, I think. Yeah, see, we got wheel spin there. I was just paying attention to that. And we sort of stalled with the revs at 5,200 as the wheels caught up with the revs. So yeah, that's what we're aiming for on the rev counter. There we go, that felt much better. I need to release the steering slightly, a bit more. I need to release the steering than what I did there. Got 0.0 again. So obviously we weren't at the 0.0s before, we're now getting 0.0s all the time. definitely get that 0.9. We've got 8 minutes to do it in. Eight minutes to get that 0.9, which I think we can do. So let's have a look at this. So I want to just brake there. Back end decided to start coming out there slightly. I'm still not releasing the steering enough there, and as you can see, we went in the ghost but then came out the ghost again because I didn't release it enough. I was still sort of doing that. It needs to be more there, so you know, that to that makes a big difference. So we're going to do the same again, but hopefully release the steering a bit earlier this time. And look how much further ahead we are. We actually stayed quite tight there, and we managed to maintain a lot more speed. 0.938. What do you reckon, a 0.8? I think we could get a 0.8 here. I will save that one, but I think we could get a 0.8. Noticing that I stayed tight, but I maintained more speed. And that seemed to help a lot there. So yeah, okay. So we're gonna have a go at this. So let's go for a 0.8. You know, when you improve again. Best way. No such thing as a perfect lap. No such thing as a perfect corner. So we're gonna go for that 0.8 now. So we've got 0.938. Really good. So we know what we're doing. We want to stay quite tight. We want to come into the corner and then stay tight with a bit of trail braking. No, you see, I missed the apex slightly there, and look at that. It cost me. Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look what it cost me. Bang on a tenth. Look at that. That was a easy calculation to make. Bang on a tenth. So missing that apex in this car, and just think about that. That's one corner, one car. Everything is one. And that's 1/10. So you think about this track, which probably got I hit the rev limiter there, that didn't help. It's probably got what, 12 corners, 13 corners, each one of those a tenth. There you go, you got 1.3 seconds. So that's how the alien drivers really do get their time. They break down a corner. Now, as I've done in the Road to GT Academy, I did a corner development episode. I played at the corner, did different things on the corner, and I sort of was able to judge what technique would work, what technique wouldn't, how the car turns in well, how it wouldn't, and where to accelerate and things like that. I did get a good start on that one as well, actually, looking at that. I might go to that camera actually and let's have a... See, notice how I start trail braking, as trail braking does, because the rear gets light. The car likes to start, it gets a bit loose on the end, it's sort of like, whoa. But I don't have to counter steer it because I know it's going to grip again, so... Yeah, it's quite a nice car this, and I hit the rev limiter there. It didn't affect me too much. Look at this, I'm banging the ghost, so... This really could be a good time, could get that 0.8. I came off and see how I'm missing the apex, and each time it's just costing me that much. I really nailed the late apex there on that corner to really get that 25.9. So we could struggle here to get this 0.8, but we can still do it. So let's focus on the gear changes, that's much better. So yeah, we're with the ghost, which is a good sign, good sign. Let's try and use a bit more track this time. Ah, I see, I came off, I should have stayed on there. I came off, I was fretting a bit about losing too much speed. And this is a problem when you get to this sort of point. You're just trying to finesse, get the real finesse of the acceleration. It's because you want to carry so much momentum, you suddenly don't want to brake as much, and then you suddenly start running wide, and then it can start getting irritating, because you know what you want to do, but you then struggle to do it. So we'll give this another go. Oh, a bit low on the revs there. So what do we lose there? 0.0. 0.02 maybe. It's about that, I would say. So yeah, we're still losing a lot of time there, you know. Because I released the steering so well on that, and that was the one thing I was focusing on that attempt. I really did get a really good time. Looks like I've got a really good acceleration here. I'm ahead of the Ghost. So this could be useful. This could be the 0.8. So let's hope and wait and see. Just release really early. No, I've not. See, it's that line I did there. I don't know why I got such a good line there. I'd have to look at the replay. At this point I would look at a replay, but because we've just got the 15 minutes, we're just going to focus on this. See if we can beat it. We've got 2 minutes to go. Got another good start there. Got another good start. I'm actually going to go to this camera again now, because I really do want to nail this apex. That was a better line. Not far off there. We've got another 0.9, which is good. We got a bit better acceleration. We accelerated earlier in the corner, which seems to be a problem we were having last time. Obviously, because I found I wasn't slowing the car down enough, I wasn't wanting to go on the accelerator. So obviously that played on my mind. We'll just keep looking at this. I think we've got about 2 more goals before the time's over. See, we got the acceleration's about the same there. It's the turning. I think we're struggling with the turning. I could do with a bit more oversteer, really. Obviously, as it's a front-wheel drive car, we're going to struggle to do that. So we've got 1 more go after this, so we're going to make these count. Obviously, if I get 0.8 now, I think we will call it there on this one. But we want to use as much of the track as possible, so I'm going to go really wide. I turned in a bit too early there. Yeah, way too early. I've got to be really aggressive. Yeah, I see. Way too early. You can see that. Got 1 more go. I'm not going to talk on this one. I'm just going to see if I can do this now. Come on, let's focus. So we haven't done it, unfortunately, but we can't complain. We've got a 25.9. Obviously we know a 0.8 is probably there if we get the perfect line, but you know, once again we're nearly 4 attempts on this time. And something I just want to highlight there, we've got 0.3 on the first one, 0.3 on the second one, and nearly 0.4 on this one. So that alone is, let me do the maths, that's 1 second. 1 second of time on just pretty tiny little bits. So that's how you gain time, really. You know, you got to look at each individual aspect. Notice braking and accelerating alone got me 3 attempts on gold in 200 meters. That's a lot of time. So you know, this sort of stuff does work. You know, doing the licenses, you may think they're boring and useless, but they can gain you a lot of time. And one thing I did used to do when I was about 14, I used to come home every night from school on Gran Turismo 4 mainly. And I used to go for the golds on every license, and I'd try and beat that time. It was like 2 hours a night. So maybe that's why I don't know, why I'm good at GT now. I don't know. And not that I'm being big-headed there, but you know, I'm alright at the game. But yeah, so that was B3 out in out. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you at B4.